I had no one. I walked alone. I never thought.
And welcome to my channel. I'm Rose. Okay, so the reason for this video and for this channel is to answer some questions that I've gotten. Now, I've gotten plenty of questions on Twitter, Facebook, face-to-face, just from friends and people who follow me, people who I'm friends with. You know, various questions regarding relationships, regarding men and women, regarding just a whole bunch of different issues, and I wanted to make a video or a series of videos just answering these questions because I know the people asking them probably aren't the only ones that want to know. So now this first question that I got said, before I even go into the question, thank you to everyone who took the time out to ask me these questions. I'm not going to name any names because most of the people that asked these questions wanted to remain anonymous. So I won't say any names, but you know who you are, but thank you. This first question that I got, I chose to answer first because it's something that I'm very passionate about, like I feel very strongly about. And this question says, I'm a newly married woman and I love my husband very much, but he seems to have the idea that in 2013, I am to still cook, clean, and submit to him every day. How do I make him happy without becoming his slave? Okay, so like I said, I feel very strongly about this topic because I'm a firm believer that a woman is to submit to her husband. And before I go into details about this, let me just state that I am not an expert, I'm not a professional, I'm not a therapist, I'm just a regular girl. These are my opinions based off of what I believe and based off of experiences. So these are just my opinions. But I'm a strong believer that a woman is to submit to her husband. Now, it's funny in her question she asked, you know, how do I make him happy without becoming his slave? I think the problem is a lot of women tie the word submit with slave. I think that's where the problem comes in. You can submit to your husband without being his slave. Submitting to him doesn't mean waiting on him hand and foot while he sits around and doesn't do anything. If you're someone who believes in the Bible, I know not everybody does, but if you do in the Bible, it states that wives, you are to submit to your husband. And I feel like we don't do this and we use the excuse that, you know, it's 2013 and, you know, gender roles have changed and the things they used to do back then, we don't have to do them now. But that's not true. To submit means to be under the authority of. So as a wife, when you become a wife, when you get that ring on your finger, you automatically become under the authority of your husband. He is the head of the house and you are to follow his command. Now, I know that may seem harsh. That may seem kind of like, you know, follow his command, like, but that's just how it is. You're supposed to fall under his authority. I feel like if you respect your husband, you would look at it as him having the authority over you and not as you being his slave. Because you're now married, the household needs a leader. There can't be two leaders in one household. It is your responsibility to do certain things, and it is his responsibility to do certain things. He's the leader of the house. As a woman, as a wife, it's your responsibility to take care of the house. Make sure the house is clean. Make sure the children are taken care of. Make sure your husband is taken care of. Make sure when he comes home from work, you know, he has a hot meal ready for him. And I know this is not a popular topic. I know, trust me, I know, because every time this topic comes up, I get a lot of flack about it because I do believe that. But that's just how I feel it should be, and that's my honest opinion. You not submitting to your husband is a surefire way to lead your family down the wrong path. Trust me. For you know, a lot of women nowadays, they want to wear the pants in a relationship and they feel like, you know, I work just as hard as my husband do, maybe even harder, so why should I have to be the one to cook, to clean? Because that is your role as a woman. That is your role as a wife. I feel like that's not even something that should be disputed. Like, that's just something that you should automatically just do. Like, you shouldn't have to be coerced into doing it. You shouldn't have to be, you know, convinced into doing it. If you are a woman who believes in the Bible, who respects your husband, then you will automatically do these things. Because once you sign on to becoming a wife, you should automatically, it should just be like this. This is my husband. He is the leader of my household. I am to fall under his authority and I am to submit to him. Now, let me go to the men. Men, it is your job to give us, as a leader, to give us something to follow. Now, if you're one of those men who, you know, you just want to sit around while your wife becomes the primary breadwinner of the house, then, you know, that's when we have an issue. You have to give us something to follow. Now, I understand circumstances. I understand certain situations happen to where maybe your wife is making more money than you. Maybe you're not working and she is the only one in the household that's working. And that's absolutely fine. But that does not mean you can't still be a leader. You can be out of a job and still lead your household, make certain decisions. Be the man that you were created to be. As a man, you're naturally a leader. This isn't something that you're taught. This isn't something that someone has to tell you to do. You are not, it's already in you. Those skills are already in you. Be the natural leader that your wife and that your family deserves. And I know, like, I know you guys might have some different opinions on this, and that's fine. I would love to hear what you guys think about this. Leave me a comment. Try not to be too hard. Try not to be too harsh, but this is what I feel on the subject. And to the person that asked the question, I really hope I answered it. Hold on, let me go back and look at the question, make sure I answered it. I just get so into this thing whenever I get a question like this. Okay, her question was, how do I make him happy without becoming his slave? I think I answered it. You don't have to become his slave, but you do have to fall under his authority. And the best way that I could explain this is when you go to work and your boss, if you're in a job, in a position where you have a boss or someone over you, when your boss or your manager tells you to do something, you don't say, well, you know, I'm not going to do it because I don't feel like it. Because then you will be out of a job. The same way with your husband. If your husband, who is above you, is asking you to do something or expects you to do something, you can't be like, you know, I'm not going to do it because, you know, get to rolling your neck and all of that. Because trust me, you will be out of a husband in no time. So I hope I answered your question. If not, shoot me an email. Well, you have my number, shoot me a text. But anybody else, like I said, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. And if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below, or you can email me. I'll put everything in the description box. You can email me with your questions. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you for watching.